Hello everyone, my name is Stargaze, and I just wanted to talk about a few things, do a little 3 a.m. ramble and something like that. There was some stuff that I wanted to talk about and kind of get off my chest and share with you all, and think about this as kind of like my coming back video, almost. So hello, it's been a little while. I know I posted a couple of GD completion videos fairly recently, but aside from that, I haven't really posted anything at all. And that's because, for the people who pay attention to my other socials that aren't YouTube, that aren't Twitch, you would know that a little while back, I forget when it was, maybe January, maybe February, maybe even March, I said that I was quitting this YouTube channel, and the Twitch and all of that, and I actually did. I said I was gonna move over to a new YouTube channel. Things got in the way of that, and it never actually came to be. But that has led me in this loop, and now we're back here, where I was right before. And I kind of wanted to talk about some of the feelings that this whole situation that I put myself in has gave me, and why I feel that way, as well as the lessons that I've learned from it, because I feel like this is kind of an important thing to talk about, not just for you guys to know, but also for, I don't know, maybe a lesson could be learned. For myself, maybe I'll figure something out about myself today. Who knows? I certainly don't. But these little ramble videos is something I've been wanting to do for a while, to be honest. It is definitely something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I'm finally built up the courage to do it. So, like I said just a minute ago, a few months ago, I decided that it would be in my best interest to quit content creation forever on this channel. I said it would be forever, and it ended up not being forever, but I said it would be. I quickly cut contact with any content-related things, whether it be servers that I'm in, like Minecraft SMPs, or even Discord servers that help with content creation. Simple things like that. I left them almost immediately. And so I already established I've cut all communication with anything content related. So let's start with that. That's the first thing I did after putting out my announcement. The next thing I did was log out all of my socials and make new accounts for this new account that I was going to run. And I'll tell you all the story of why I left that account later, but originally it was going to be called Ojaro. And it was a name that I rocked with for about 2 months. Just about 60 days. You can look at my name MC profile and look at that if you want. My user isn't Ojaro anymore, but it was. So I changed my name to Ojaro. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do primarily Lethal Company content, and that's about it. I limited myself to that one thing, and I feel like that was my first mistake. Was limiting myself to one thing. And I think it all fell apart from there. There was a whole complication I had with a relationship that I was in, a romantic relationship that was really not the best for me and my mental health, that I eventually got out of, but was really barring me from doing anything significant with content at the time. But yeah, so I limited myself, and now I'm in a relationship that is not doing great for my mental health, which, for context, the whole reason I even started to quit in the first place was because of burnout and because of mental health issues. So, not exactly great for me. I thought that would be a turnaround because I really love this person, but it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. So this relationship kind of barred me from being able to make content, and also me limiting myself barred me from being able to make content. So I eventually just stopped thinking about it. I stopped thinking about making content altogether. And instead of saying what I was going to do and take my aspirations somewhere else, they just disappeared entirely. And as my mental health spiraled down, further and further down into a hole, it kind of just stopped. I lost all my ambition for Minecraft. I lost all my ambition for content creation. I lost all my ambition for all of my hobbies in general. And this wasn't just a thing that was like now. It was a thing that started in November, because of a lot of different real life situations and scenarios that happened that I wish not to go into detail, because I'm still attempting to heal from those incidents, and outside of my close friend group, I am not exactly comfortable with talking about them right now. But I digress. So, I quit content creation on my main account, the account that I've been building since 2017, since I was little, and lost all my aspiration to be a content creator in the first place. Something that was, quite frankly, because I haven't really found anything else that I like, quite frankly, one of my only hobbies as of now, and as of then as well. So I lost one of my biggest hobbies. Now, as that love started to grow back, now I'm here. I started to prepare things again to go back to my old account where I was, because there was something with the name of my account that I realized just really didn't fit me. Ojaro. It sounded kind of like I don't know, your typical, like, male PvP creator, right? And at the time, that's kind of what I thought of myself as. Maybe not a PvP creator, but male, especially. Heavy on the male. And you know what? Lots of things have changed since then. And my gender identity has too. And I think that realization kind of is what broke me out of Ojaro, was me figuring myself out at least a little bit. Now that I made that realization, I feel like this name doesn't fit me anymore. And so, like I said, I dropped content creation. And that's the point when, after the relationship that I was talking about earlier ended, I started to slowly heal. And as I healed, I realized I maybe did want to come back to this passion. Especially recently, I've been really wanting to come back to content creation. And it's been really, really nice. The streams have done well. I'm very happy, but something that I've noticed, especially as I've been attempting to get back into the Minecraft scene, has kind of stuck with me. And that's when, and that is the thing that I said earlier about me cutting all contact with any creator servers, SMPs, people that I was in contact with. Just cutting all that off. As I've started to come back into this scene, I've realized that those ambitions, those dreams, they took me 3 years to build up, to get into all those spaces, to get my name out there. And not only is my name not out there anymore because well, I cut everything off. It's also not out there because I decided to change my alias again. I've been through a couple of alias changes before, but this one especially recently. And I inched my way back in after I changed my alias. So it's not like I could reintroduce myself as the old alias because, well, I'd already changed it. The most I could do was say, oh, I'm this person from before. Which, to be honest, isn't, you know, the craziest thing. Only so many people are going to believe that. Only so many people are going to know. Especially after I made a post saying that I was going to completely disappear. I'm now starting to realize that that decision was a big mistake. I was experiencing heavy amounts of burnout. I was not in a well place in my head, and I made a rash decision. That's normal for me. I tend to go with my gut. I tend to go with the feeling I'm feeling right now. And sometimes I do that against the rational mind, because I feel like, well, what if I change this? Would it make things better? And I go through with that change after only thinking about it for a day, because I really want to do this thing, or I really want this thing to happen. And then I realize that thing, the results weren't what I wanted at all. And this time especially, it's kind of stuck with me, I feel like. Because, again, now I'm trying to get back into the Minecraft scene. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. I see all these people, they have connections, they have friends in this community. They have people they know. And all these different factors, me erasing myself off of this side of the community, or this side of the internet, I should say, me changing my alias and coming back, basically me throwing myself off the planet, and then coming back with a different change, or like a different name. You know, you lose that aspect of community that you had before. It's hard to get yourself going off the ground. And I should know. I mean, it took me 3 years to get off the ground. More than that. But I'm not counting the time where I didn't know how to edit. But I started editing in 2020. To get where I was, and it wasn't even super far. It took 4 years, 2024. I was starting to get somewhere, and as my mental health started to deteriorate, I slowly began to fade out of whatever I was doing because of burnout, several other factors. School was starting to become really busy, and eventually I made the decision to quit. Now I'm heavily regretting that decision. I'm sure I've already said that in this ramble. If I repeat things, please do keep in mind that this is an unedited ramble while I'm playing Minecraft. I don't have a script. I'm just talking from the heart. But yeah, I decided to quit. After all the things that I had built up, that I had worked towards, I decided to cut it off. Because of a hardship that I was going through. It's okay to take breaks. I recognize that it's okay to take breaks. But I think after this, I've recognized that even if it is okay to take breaks, it's not exactly the best to leave the thing that you were working on so hard for so long and just discard it and leave it hanging out to dry, never be seen again. I'm now realizing that you can't just quit. You can't just quit because things are hard. And I'm learning that the hard way now. Especially the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking. I've been thinking a lot about that decision and where it's led me to now. And you can't change the past, but I've been thinking about how the present would be different if I had just followed through with the things that I said I was going to work on before. Not even just quitting my projects and streaming in the early stages of this year. I mean, like, just in general, I had so many missed opportunities in my content creation career. I was in final hours, 24-hour final hours, a server that's like the life SMP, but or the life series, but you only have 24 hours. And it was streamed within one day. I recorded the entirety of my event on that server. And you know what? It had the best potential for storytelling. It did, it really did. I made a whole musical soundtrack. Now, it wasn't anything special. I just mixed the loops together on Soundtrap to make something, but I really did make some decent tracks. But I never followed through. I never edited the video. I never did any of that under the guise of the files being corrupted. And I did the same thing in another series run by the same person that ran 24-hour final hours. The same thing, where I discarded all my files and just decided not to edit anything. I look back on these questionable decisions and honestly my laziness and just wonder what could have been if, instead of being a perfectionist and discarding these videos as soon as things got hard and didn't go my way, what would it have been if I just followed through, you know, and like just follow through and made the videos anyway, regardless of quality, and just push them out and learn things as I went through. I really wondered. It's something that I realized on a trip to Niagara Falls. It was a road trip from my house. It's about a 7-hour drive. And during a 7-hour drive, there's a lot to think about. There's not a lot to do in a car ride that's 7 hours long. Except for just think. And think I did. It's the whole reason I've come to this conclusion in the first place. It's the whole reason I'm nostalgic about those times that I used to have in this community that I've been referencing. And it's when the regret really started to settle in. The regret of, you know, not following through with these things. And even the decision that I made that really changed the course of everything. You know, me just stopping making content altogether. Disconnecting from everything. Destroying all the networking I've built up over the last 4 years. Now, I don't want to say content creation is strictly business, because a lot of these people are amazing people and amazing friends, and have been, and are incredibly talented. But, and I know I'm using a lot of like business-like terms, like networking, but really that's what it is. Knowing people in this community, and really any community, is so important to be able to grow and to get the opportunities to grow. And throwing that out the window, like, now I'm really starting to think about it. I just took all that for granted. I took all the people that I knew, all of the friendships that I had made, all of the opportunities that I had for granted. I did. I took it all for granted. I didn't realize what I had till it was gone. I think it's a good lesson that I've learned, I feel like, to be grateful for the opportunities that I've come across. I have another one coming up, and I'm very excited to start. I'm very excited to finally push through. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good for me. But, man, it's a lot to think about, you know. How life would have been if I just didn't make that one decision, that one mistake. There's so many that I could name. How would life be different if I didn't mistreat people when I was 14 years old, right? I made a mistake on a lore server that I used to be a part of. I'm not going to state the name. But I made a mistake. I talked behind people's back. And I was immature. Frankly, I was immature. I was hateful. I was bashful. I learned from it and I moved on. But now, especially recently, I've been wanting to come back to doing lore. And it's something like things like these, where, again, you don't cherish the opportunities you have until they're gone. Or at least I didn't. I know some people do. But yeah, just things, just the small things in life. In the content sphere. Like not making those videos. Making those mistakes by being hateful. And hell, I'll admit it. I got kicked out of that fucking server, as I should have, because I was being an idiot. I really was. I wasn't being a good person. I've since learned and grown. But, like, it's an interesting thing to think about. Because if I hadn't made these mistakes, they would just catch up to me down the line. But at the same time, I also want to think about how much more fun I would have had if I just stayed with it. And just been a decent person to begin with. I was just a young teenager. I still am a young person. I still am a teenager. But I was 14. I still didn't know what was right and what was wrong. I was under an extremely intense amount of stress from that lore server because of the expectations. I had extremely bad imposter syndrome, and it caused me to be a little bit guilt trippy, as some of the members described. There's a lot of regret involved in making mistakes, I feel like. You look at those mistakes down the line, and you think, like, man, I wish I would have never done that thing, because I'd still be doing this thing that I really, really enjoyed, and I messed up, and I fucked up that opportunity. It's the missed opportunities. They hurt you. But at the same time, those missed opportunities, you grow from them. You really do. Every time I fucked up, I had been an asshole. And I faced the repercussions for it. Natural consequences. I realized, if these people are having this reaction, maybe what I did was not right. What can I do next time to fix this? Or to make sure that this doesn't happen again? That's what mistakes are for. They're learning opportunities. I'm trying my hardest not to feel regret for the things that I've done in the past, for the mistakes that I've made, for the the blunders, the missed opportunities, the being lazy and not finishing projects and sometimes not even starting them because of perfectionism. It's hard, especially when you realize that the mistakes that you've made have broken ties with people that you once cherished, and things and opportunities that you once loved. But at the same time, I've also come to realize that these mistakes and missed opportunities, they've really done a lot for me growing as a person. Because as silly as it sounds, a $30 block game really has done a lot for my personal growth. Weird, isn't it? How much a silly little block game could do. A silly little block game, interacting with people on servers on a $30 block game. This game has impacted my life so much. Not just from a content standpoint. I've been playing this game since I was itty-bitty. With my best friend, that I still talk to. We would always play on Minecraft. I would always get on whenever I was sad and build something in creative mode. I remember in, like, the 2nd grade, I build a Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria out of obsidian and wish that there were cameras. There were mods with cameras, but I didn't know that at the time. But like, I always played it when I was happy, when I was sad, when I was angry. Minecraft was my game when I was little. I loved it. I always watched Minecraft. I grew up on it. Little me seeing where I am today. I don't really remember a lot about little me, but I feel like he'd be excited, or she'd be excited about. Lol, misgendering myself. Incredible. But I feel like she'd be excited about whatever. I feel like she'd be excited about the opportunities that she got. Maybe she'd be a little disappointed with how they turned out. But all's well that ends well. I'm a changed person now. I feel much more mature. I'm not anywhere near there yet. I'm really not. But I feel like the importance of being able to recognize the things that you have and not look at the things that you don't it is important. It's very important. Even though this whole video is about me talking about the things that I don't have. Talking about the things that I don't have has made me realize that I should cherish the things that I do and don't take those things for granted, because if I don't, it'll come with waves of regret. And I just lose the fun in it because it's not there anymore. I don't get to experience it anymore. I feel like I'm kind of looping around now, but I've come to peace with the terms that this is going to take a little while to build back up. But either way, I'm excited for what's to come in the future, and I hope I can build some of those bridges that I broke back up. Because, quite frankly, the SMP community is pretty fucking awesome. And I enjoyed being in it for the little time that I was. And I hope that I can be... Jesus. I hope that I can be more present, more ambitious, more willing to follow through with things and learn. than I was before. And I think this little mishap of mine, I should say, with me quitting content for a little bit, coming back, and having all the bridges burned. I think that mishap will finally be the straw. Will finally be the thing that propels me forward. Which is awesome. And I'm super excited to go wherever this journey takes me. This is some of the only type of this content that I've made before. Like, seriously. I've never done content like this before. I've never rambled over playing Minecraft before. I think it's something that I might want to do more often. It's really nice getting my thoughts out. And just talking about my life in a way where there's no pressure. There's no pressure. There's no expectation. There's no having to feel like you're a burden when talking to other people. Even though you shouldn't feel that way. Sometimes I do. There's no reason to conceal my thoughts or feelings. So I think I'm going to start making stuff like this more often. And if you would like to see stuff like this more often, then great. I'll keep putting it out anyway. But yeah, I have a few new projects that I'm working on. And I have a new project that I was just accepted into quite recently. I can't spoil what it is until member announcements, but it's there and it's coming. And I'm very excited for you guys to see. I'll be unprivating all of my videos here soon that I feel should be on this channel. There are a lot of videos that I feel shouldn't be, because they don't reflect my character, because I don't want them to reflect my character. I don't want them to be things that people see whenever they see me, because a lot of the stuff I made was when I was still an immature and edgy 13-year-old. As if all teenagers don't go through that phase. But, still. I appreciate you so much if you're still watching this video. If you're not, well, you wouldn't be hearing this if you're not, but still, I appreciate you if you even clicked on it. And if you listened all the way through, you're amazing. Much love. Expect more of this content in the future, seriously. I'm gonna make more. Eventually, whenever things come up. But, for now, I think that's about all I have to say. Remember that you are cherished. Remember that you should cherish the things that you have in your life. Go give your parents a hug. Go say hi to your family. Go check in on a friend. Drink water. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. And to make yourself feel safe and secure in the environment that you're in. Make sure to do whatever you need to do to cherish what you have. Because you never know what it's like when it's gone. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have an amazing day. Or night. Or whatever time it is as you're watching this video. I'll talk to you soon. Much love.